Erin Patterson's police interview played to court, shopping list history and apparent shock that someone had died. This is what happened in week 5 of Erin Patterson's death cap mushroom murder trial. In the 21-minute-long video played to the Supreme Court, Erin Patterson appears in a small white-walled interview room in the Wonthaggi police station. She's wearing a beige-coloured jumper opposite 2 officers and appears composed, and her voice and tone remain level. When asked why she hosted the lunch the week before, she says she had no other family and wanted to maintain relationships. "They always said they would support me. I loved them. They're good, decent people that have never done anything wrong," she said at different times in the interview. Those at the beef Wellington meal were Don and Gail Patterson, the parents of her estranged husband Simon, as well as Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson and her husband Ian. All guests became gravely ill and 3 died because of death cap mushroom poisoning. Erin Patterson is facing 3 charges of murder and 1 of attempted murder. She's pleading not guilty to those charges, and a defence team says the deaths were a tragic accident. The police interview played to court shows Erin Patterson lying to police about foraging for wild mushrooms and owning a food dehydrator. Detective Stephen Effingstall asks in the interview, "Do you know anything about a dehydrator in your house?" "No," she responds. "Do you own a dehydrator?" "No," she says again. "We've got concerns in relation to the mushrooms and where they've come from. Is that something you've done in the past? Foraging?" the officer asks. "Never," Erin Patterson responds, shaking her head. Erin Patterson's defence team has earlier admitted she lied about the dehydrator and foraging, but maintains Erin Patterson did not seek out death cap mushrooms and panicked about the dehydrator, which the court has heard she dumped at a tip. A manual for a dehydrator was found by police in her kitchen drawer during a search that happened on the same day as the police interview. The court heard that during the search, Ms Patterson asked police officers, "Who died?" Detective Sergeant Luke Farrell told the court he did not know what Erin Patterson was aware of at the time, but she had expressed surprise when she found out Heather Wilkinson had died. Police also told the court that while the search was happening, a SIM card was being transferred from one of Ms Patterson's phones to another mobile phone. Police say they never recovered that first phone, dubbed Phone A. In the police video, Erin Patterson says, "I've been very, very helpful with the health department during the week because I do want to understand what happened." Sally Ann Atkinson from the Department of Health told the court this week Erin Patterson kept giving her team different information. The Ms Patterson told her the mushrooms used were a mixture of Woolworths button mushrooms and dried mushrooms from an Asian grocer from Melbourne's Oakley, Clayton or Mount Waverley areas. Then that the store could have been Glen Waverley. And rather than buying most of the fresh ingredients on the Friday before the lunch, she had in fact bought the fresh ingredients over Wednesday to Friday. Previously, a Monash City Council investigator told the court he visited many Asian grocery stores looking for mushrooms, but did not find any death caps. The jury was also shown Erin Patterson's shopping history. It records Erin Patterson bought packets of frozen puff phyllo pastry, 1 kilogram of chopped fresh mushrooms and shallot onions from the Leongatha Woolworths several days before the lunch. Then, on the day before, she returned to pick up more pastry, beef eye fillets and sliced mushrooms, along with gravy packets and 1.5 kilograms of mashed potato and 340 grams of beans. Prosecutors this week also showed evidence from Gail Patterson. First, a diary note in the weeks leading up to the lunch that her former daughter-in-law would be going to St Vincent's Hospital for a lump on her arm. Then text messages between the two read, "Hi Erin, just wondering how you got on at your appointment today. Love, Don and Gail." Then the next day, Erin Patterson replied, "I had a needle biopsy taken of the lump and I'm returning for an MRI next week and will know more after the results of those 2 things." Then when Gail asked about it 2 weeks later, Erin Patterson said she had a bit to digest and would talk to them in person. The sole surviving lunch guest said Ms Patterson announced she had cancer and was seriously ill. But the prosecution told the court there was no evidence she visited doctors for the lump, no evidence she was given an MRI or had cancer. However, the defence also presented medical records between 2021 and 2023. They show doctor notes saying Erin Patterson had a family history of ovarian cancer and she was worried about it. And while tests were all fine, further tests were ordered. The trial is scheduled to go for 1 more week.